Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It is me, Virtualee, and I am so excited about this pseudo podcast that I'm about to do today. This is Project Makeover, and what we're going to do is, because we're doing project renovation where we're renovating on Mondays every household and every lot in all of the worlds of The Sim 4 so that you can have a brand new download that you guys can play with. I don't want to give you the same stock townies the way you see them today. So we're going to make them over every time one neighborhood within the world is completed, which we did one neighborhood completed on Monday. Then I'm going to renovate all of the Sims in that area at once. So that's what we're going to do today. I will upload them individually if you guys want to download them now and play with them now, or you can wait until this project is finished, which is going to take a really long time, and just download the whole kit and caboodle all at once. Totally up to you. Hope you guys are doing super groovy. All right, so this is going to be like a podcast, so you can listen while you study or work or clean or cook, or while you're doing something else on the computer. That's totally cool as well. Or you can watch and listen too. That's super fine as well. Whatever tickles your fancy is totally okay with me. You guys, I went to Cirque du Soleil on Saturday. I am still like on a high. I flippin' love Cirque du Soleil. So in Florida, when we lived in Florida, we watched the Paris one. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of that particular franchise, but we saw Crystal. So it's Cirque du Soleil on ice. And the story, of course, I have to analyze everything, right? Because, hey, I'm a storyteller, so I tried to dissect the thing. My husband and I were going around in circles like we thought we knew what the story was about, and we were pretty close, but we just added too many elements in the story that weren't even there. I was like, I think she has like autism, and so she lives in her head, and she has all these fantastical fantasies happening in her mind all the time. And the reason I thought that is because when the show started, it was her doing a monologue. Crystal is the main protagonist of the Cirque du Soleil Crystal story. Her parents were like, you know, she always does the wrong homework or always turns it in late. And then her peers at school were like, we don't like to sit by her. She never says anything. She's so boring. And I thought to myself, well, she has to have some sort of like autism or severe and chronic like shyness. I mean, that happens too, right? And so the way the story started is Crystal starts skating in our neighborhood and the ice was thin, it cracks and she falls in it. It was really cool because the ice had effects with lights, so the lights would project a story on the ice, so you could almost see the ice cracking. And then when she falls through the ice, and I'm doing air quotes with my fingers, she falls to the ground, but then there's another her suspended from the ceiling coming down, and there's like the lights were portraying like bubbles as if she were like, you know, falling in the water. And then the entire story just explodes, and that's where all the stunts come in and more songs. And I loved this Cirque du Soleil because they use modern songs. And one of my favorite stunts is when there were a lot of them, but my favorite from the original Cirque du Soleil, I say original, but the one that I originally saw, was when they fly around in the drapes. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know what it's called, but it's just so majestic. In Florida, it was a dude and a lady. It was just a dude, one dude that was just flying around. His outfit was like a bird, and he was flying and soaring in the air, and you could almost feel the wind as he whipped around the stage. And we actually, Jason and I, sat very close to the front, which was a mistake because our neck hurt towards the end. So I made sure for this Cirque du Soleil that we were way back. But the thing is that we were way too back because it was in an actual hockey arena. So man, those stadium seats are like super inclined and super high. So I feel like we missed a little bit of the story because there were corners of the stage that we just visually couldn't grasp, and everyone looked like ants, sort of. I mean, you could see what was going on, but it was definitely, there was a distance between us. But when the drapes stunt came into this particular story, I almost fainted. I was so excited. And the song that they used was Sia's Chandelier. Have you heard that one? I'm gonna swing from the chandelier. Chandelier, I'm gonna fly like a bird through the night, feel my tears as they dry. So you can imagine as the crystal and the drape man were soaring through the entire hockey arena, and that song was blasting and the lights were moving. It was just so impacting, so powerful, and so beautiful. I literally had a knot in my throat. I need to do this more. The people there were interesting, so I was a little bit distracted because while we were on the top level, we were towards the end of that level, so we could look down to the next level. And in front of us were empty seats, and then in front of those seats were a trio, so imagine, if you will, it's a 3-end seat, so it's a girl, guy. And the guy had his arm draped around the seat in front of him, or behind him, and his hand was intimately rubbing the girl at the end, her neck, like just really going to town on her neck. And the girl at the end had her arm draped around the girl in the middle and was intimately rubbing the guy's shoulder. So then there's this individual in the middle, and I'm thinking, is it a daughter? Is it, is it a cousin? I have no idea what's going on here. But then towards the middle of the show, when I looked down, the guy had the middle girl's hand locked, like their fingers were locked in an intimate hand holding. So I don't know what the heck was going on there. Hey, I'm not going to judge. It was just, here's the thing. I don't see that kind of thing every day, so it's impactful for me, like to each their own. But I kept elbowing my husband, like, look, it's a different scene going on below us. So that happened. And I got to chat a little bit with some Colombians that were in the row in front of us. They were looking for their seats, and we struggled to find our seats too because we were new to the stadium. But so I was able to help them, and that was really cool. So we had a really good time. It was really good. Now the city, we got there okay. We left with ample time. Getting to the place was not a big deal. My husband drove, and he's a little bit more adventurous in the city than I am. So he did really well. But where we actually had a little bit of a panic attack was leaving the joint because everyone left at the same time. The streets were crazy. I don't know. It was a white knuckling moment. But hey, we survived it. We're going to do this again. The really cool thing is that I've made it a goal of mine, a New Year's resolution, if you will, to do one super cool thing a month because, I really want to be able to enjoy life more. I already enjoy life, but I want to have these little experiences that just stick out for me. So next month for Valentine's, we're going to go see Early Man, which is an animation, and I love illustration. So we're going to see that, and we're going to go to a seafood restaurant. Do you guys like seafood? We have this restaurant that's called Capstone in our area, and they have and I've had crab cakes in a lot of places, and I'm from Puerto Rico where seafood is fresh and ready to go. But the crab cakes at Capstone, I have to say, are the best that I've had anywhere at all. And they have really good steak. It's a steakhouse, I want to say, a seafood steakhouse. They have great clam chowder. I cannot wait. So Early Man and seafood restaurant on Valentine's Day. On March, my girlfriend from work and I, we got tickets to go see Bodyguard the musical, and I'm a huge fan of Whitney Houston. Her original movie was not as great, but the soundtrack was my favorite, and I cannot wait to see the musical. This is going to be amazing. And then April, my mom is going to come up to Pennsylvania with my nephew, and I want to take him back to that arena because Disney on Ice will be playing in April. I'm so excited. And then in June, my husband and I's 12th anniversary. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, 12th anniversary. We're going to go to Vegas. We're actually going to go to Vegas for the very first time, guys. And I'm super, super, super excited. So what triggered all of these adventures? Well, I'm going to be totally transparent with you guys. So last year, my family struggles with depression as a whole, and I have bouts of it. Not totally severe, but enough to where it hinders my day-to-day sometimes, you know, if I let it go unchecked. And I noticed that the more I did things, the less of that burden I felt, because I had something to actually look forward to, and not just the same old rigmarole of waking up, getting dressed, going to work, coming home, eating, watching a show, going to sleep, rinse and repeat. So when I started my bullet journaling this year, I realized I didn't have a lot to write about. I didn't have a lot to share. And sometimes even when I do commentaries on YouTube, it was really hard for me to come up with discussion points and things to talk about, because, you know, a lot of the stuff that I did when I moved from Puerto Rico and traveled the world, and I've already talked that to the bone, you know. So it's time to turn a new leaf. It's time to really take the bull by the horns and live every day to the fullest. And I'm so excited that I have things to look forward to, and I'll continue to plan things so that I can experience more of life. And ultimately, what I'd love to do is I'd love to visit a lot of places in the U.S. because when I moved from Puerto Rico to the States, I traveled all of the Southern Belt, Central and South America. I never got to travel, like, you know, other parts of the U.S. Like, I've never been to Colorado, and there's other places in California I haven't been to, and there's places in Texas I haven't been to. So I really want to be able to not necessarily do them all in 1 year, but definitely plan so that I can visit. And then there's places outside of the U.S. that I want to visit. And, you know, I don't think my husband's been to Canada, so it would be really cool if we could go there together and just really, really, really soak up the world and soak up life together. And I think that's really important. And even if even if we can't afford the big trips, but these little things like watching a comedian, you know, or going and watching a show or going to the movies, all these things really matter, and they keep you focused on a goal. So anyway, I think I've talked your ear off today. I'm really, really excited about this project. I love the way that these beauties have turned out. I actually removed all of the custom content from my folders, and so these are no CC, the builds are no CC, the townies are no CC, and so I'm really excited for you to get your hot little hands on this download. I haven't done the math, so I don't know how long this will take, but pretty much it's 1 week per lot. So we can do the math and say there's probably 15 to 20 lots per world. So this may take 2 years. This may take 2 years. I don't know. I may stream a couple. I've never streamed before, so that scares the bejesus out of me, but we'll see. We'll see what we do. Maybe we'll do some collaborations and finish the world a little bit quicker, but yeah, so that's that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. I hope you liked the video and the makeover. I really do appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.